Okay, here we go with the absolute value quiz. Just a little bit of review before we get looking at all the questions. Just an idea of what absolute value is. All right, absolute value is the distance something is away from zero. So, and we write it with these bars here. So what this says is the absolute value of -3. Well, the absolute value of -3 is 3 because -3 is 3 units from 0. Likewise, the absolute value of 4 over here is equal to 4 because 4 is 4 units from 0. So absolute value is always going to be a positive thing, a positive value, because you're talking about a distance, and distance is always going to be positive. Okay, so what does this stuff look like then? All right, which of the following could be equal to the absolute value of x? Okay, things that are equal to the absolute value of x. Sorry, gotta grab the pen. All right, things that are equal to the absolute value of x could be 5. Um, okay, so the absolute value of x could be 5, or it could be 0, because the distance from 0, for example, could be 0. One thing it couldn't be, absolute value couldn't be -2, nor could it be -5. Again, absolute value has got to be positive, so it can't be those negatives. Okay, select the equation that represents the following graph. So what are we doing here? We've got -1, -2. Okay, this is at -3. And you've got +1, +2, and this one is at +3. So you've got a -3 and you've got a +3. That means you're looking at the absolute value of some number is equal to 3, because the absolute value of this is 3. Likewise, the absolute value of this is 3. Okay, evaluate the expression negative, and then you've got the absolute value bars, and then some stuff going on inside those bars. Similar to our last section, we're going to take this over to Desmos. So like I said, this is going to be something we're going to use, this calculator, something we're going to use quite a bit of. So I'm going to throw a negative up there, and then you've got these absolute value bars right there. So, and then I'm just going to copy that in, 3 minus 7, and then times, that's the asterisk over the 8 key on the keyboard. 4 plus 5, and there we go, -36. And I know we've been talking about how it's got to be positive. Well, you got this negative up in front here. So that's why we end up with, ultimately, the answer is being negative, because that negative is outside of the absolute value bars. All right, let's look at another one. Now, let's see, let's get rid of that. Absolute value of -4 plus 3 minus 9. There we go. We see that it's equal to 10. I think we're okay skipping that one. It's going to be just like the previous one. All right, evaluate the expression x minus 12 when x is equal to -4. Okay, it looks a little more complicated, but it's actually not. We can still come over here. We're going to go with our absolute value. Now, instead of this x right here, we're going to put that -4 in there. So we're just going to say -4 minus 12, 16. And there we go. There's our 16. Okay, the distance between -8 and 5 on a number line can be found by which expression? A couple things to kind of notice here. Distance. Okay, so if you're talking about distance, again, we talked about anytime you're talking about distance, you're talking about absolute value. Now, what that means is this is out and this is out because they're not dealing with absolute value. You've got to have something here with your bars, the absolute value. Okay, so you've got you're trying to figure out something, a distance between -8 and 5. Distance is also kind of like a difference. Now, when we think about difference, then we know we're talking about subtraction. So given these two choices, we want to go there because of the -8 minus the 5. Okay, this is similar to one we looked at before. You've got a -5 and a +5. Okay, so what that means is absolute value of x is equal to 5. And that that should do it. Good luck.